Hi there! Welcome back to American Lingo Academy. I'm Luna, and today we're going to learn another 10 common English phrasal verbs that native speakers use all the time. These phrasal verbs are very useful, and I promise, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what they mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. All right, let's get started. Number 1. Buff up. This phrasal verb means to make something look better or shinier by cleaning it or polishing it. You can buff up your shoes, your car, or anything that needs to look nice and shiny. For example, imagine you have a job interview tomorrow and you want to look professional. You take out your nice leather shoes, but they look a little dirty. So you spend a few minutes buffing them up with a cloth until they're shiny and clean. Now you feel confident and ready. Here's another one. Your car hasn't been washed in a while and it's looking pretty dusty. This weekend, you decide to take it to the car wash and then you buff it up with a special wax. After you're done, your car looks brand new. Number 2, buff up on. This means to review or study something again to improve your knowledge. You use this when you need to refresh your memory about a topic you already learned before. For example, you studied Spanish in high school, but that was 5 years ago. Now you're planning a trip to Mexico next month, so you decide to buff up on your Spanish by watching videos and practicing every day. By the time you travel, you feel much more comfortable speaking. Here's another one. You have a big presentation at work next week about marketing. You learned about this in college, but it's been a while, so you spend the weekend buffing up on the latest trends by reading articles. When presentation day comes, you feel prepared and confident. Number 3, bug off. This is an informal and somewhat rude way to tell someone to go away or leave you alone. You use this when someone is bothering you and you want them to stop. It's not polite, so be careful when you use it. For example, you're trying to study at the library and someone keeps talking loudly on their phone right next to you. After they ignore your polite request to be quiet, you finally get frustrated and say, "Bug off, I'm trying to study here." They finally get the message and move away. Here's another one. You're walking downtown and a pushy salesperson keeps following you, trying to make you buy something you don't want. You've said no thank you several times, but they won't stop. Finally, you turn around and say, "Bug off, I'm not interested." They leave you alone. Now, before we continue, if you're enjoying this lesson, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us create more content for you. All right, let's keep going. Number 4, bug out. This phrasal verb has 2 meanings. First, it can mean to leave quickly, usually because of danger. Second, it can mean to become very surprised or scared. Your eyes might get really big, like a bug's eyes. For example, you're at home watching TV when suddenly you hear the fire alarm go off in your building. You smell smoke coming from downstairs. You immediately grab your phone and keys and bug out of your apartment as fast as you can. Safety first. Here's another one. Your friend shows you a video of an enormous spider that was found in someone's garage. You absolutely hate spiders, so when you see it, you completely bug out. Your eyes get huge, you scream a little, and you make your friend turn off the video. Number 5, build up. This means to gradually increase or develop something over time. You can build up your strength, your confidence, or your savings. It happens little by little, not all at once. For example, you want to run a marathon, but right now you can only run for 10 minutes before getting tired. So you create a training plan where you build up your endurance slowly. After several months of building up your stamina, you're finally ready to run that marathon. Here's another one. You just started a new job and you're feeling nervous about speaking up in meetings. At first you just listen, but each week, you build up your courage by asking one small question. After a few months, you feel confident enough to give a full presentation. You built up that confidence step by step. Number 6, bulk out. This phrasal verb means to add more content to something to make it bigger or longer. Writers use this when they need to make an essay longer. Cooks use this when they need to make a meal serve more people. For example, you're writing a report for school, and it needs to be 10 pages long, but you've only written 6 pages. You need to bulk out your report by adding more examples and detailed explanations. After you add this extra information, your report reaches the required length. Here's another one. You're cooking dinner for your family, and you invited some extra guests at the last minute. Now you don't have enough food. So you decide to bulk out the meal by adding more rice, making a big salad, and baking some bread. Now there's plenty of food for everyone. Number 7, bulk up. This means to gain weight and muscle by exercising and eating more. People who go to the gym and want to get bigger and stronger use this phrasal verb. For example, your younger brother has always been very thin, and he wants to look more muscular. He joins a gym and starts working with a trainer. He lifts weights 5 times a week and eats a lot of protein. After 6 months, he successfully bulks up and gains 20 pounds of muscle. He feels much stronger. Here's another one. You see an actor in a new superhero movie and he looks incredibly muscular. In his previous movies, he was much thinner. You read an interview where he explains that he had to bulk up for this role. He worked out intensely for 4 months to gain all that muscle. Number 8, bump into. This phrasal verb means to meet someone unexpectedly or by accident. You weren't planning to see them, but suddenly there they are. For example, you're grocery shopping on a Saturday morning, just picking up some milk and eggs. Suddenly, you bump into your old high school teacher in the cereal aisle. You haven't seen her in 10 years. You both get so excited and spend 15 minutes catching up. What a nice surprise. Here's another one. You're traveling in a foreign country thousands of miles from home. You're visiting a museum when suddenly you bump into your neighbor from back home. You can't believe it. You both laugh at the incredible coincidence and decide to explore the museum together. Number 9, bump off. This is a slang term that means to kill someone. It's often used in crime movies, detective stories, or when talking about gangsters. You'll hear this in movies more than in real life. For example, you're watching an old detective movie and the main character is investigating a murder. In the movie, a witness tells the detective that the criminal wanted to bump off the business owner because he knew too many secrets. The detective has to figure out who did it. Here's another one. Your friend is reading a mystery novel and she's telling you about the plot. She says the story is about criminals who plan to bump off a wealthy businessman to steal his fortune. But the businessman has a clever bodyguard who discovers their plan and stops them just in time. Number 10, bump up. This phrasal verb means to increase something, usually a number, price, or amount. Companies bump up prices. Teachers might bump up your grade. Your boss might bump up your salary. For example, you've been working really hard at your job for the past year. During your annual review, your boss is very impressed. She decides to bump up your salary by 10% as a reward for your excellent work. You're so happy and motivated. Here's another one. You're selling your house and you originally listed the price at $300,000. But then someone built a new shopping center near your neighborhood, which makes your house more valuable. Your agent suggests you bump up the price to $320,000 because buyers will pay more for the convenient location. And that's it, my friends. We've learned 10 super useful phrasal verbs today. I really hope this lesson helped you. Remember, the best way to learn is to practice using them in your own conversations. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to American Lingo Academy because we post new videos every single day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.